What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news video. And what do you think about Jurgen Klopp absolutely being furious that the Newcastle Takeover has been given the green light? And he also said that he was waiting for an official announcement, an official statement from the Premier League chairman Richard Masters over the human rights issues that present themselves with the Saudi Arabia taking charge of Newcastle United. And he says that this will mean that Newcastle are now given a chance to create a super team, a new superpower in world football. And Jurgen Klopp was actually very honest. He is the only manager, I think, in the Premier League who is more honest than any other manager with what everybody thinks about this Newcastle takeover. So let me know what you think about Jurgen Klopp's comments. We will talk about that in detail in this video. So I will give you all the rundown on what Jurgen Klopp said, and also I will give my honest opinion. Now that Jose Mourinho is in the Serie A, I think Jurgen Klopp is the most outspoken manager in the Premier League, and we need guys like him. And I absolutely worship the man. He's just absolutely brilliant, Jurgen Klopp. And I think we need more managers like him who can tell the truth as it is, and not just this PR, this nonsense that most managers come up with, cliched answers and all. And I want to say a huge thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring my channel for this month. OneFootball is the home of football, my favorite app. I've been using it for years. You can find all kinds of football news on there, and also you can find the stats, the latest transfer news. I have been going there almost every day, checking the Liverpool transfer news, because they combine the best and most interesting transfer news and football news. And you can find also interesting videos, stats, analysis, fantasy football tips, and all kinds of interesting football related content on the OneFootball apps. And it's completely free, so what are you waiting for? Make sure to download OneFootball using the link in the video's description, and you support the channel as well that way. Jurgen Klopp asked the theoretical question, what will it mean for football? A few months ago, football fans had a massive issue with 12 clubs trying to build a new European Super League. And it didn't happen, but this is kind of creating a super team, if you want, just in the Premier League. It is pretty much the same. Guaranteed spot in the Champions League in a few years' time, not immediately right now, of course. With how financial fair play is used nowadays, where nobody exactly knows whether it is still existing or not, it's pretty clear that Newcastle will be a Champions League team regularly. And this is why I said that Liverpool have a lot to fear. And all the other clubs apart from Chelsea, Man United, Man City and maybe Newcastle, Man United because they just have still incredible commercial revenue. But even Man United are not safe if they don't make the right decisions in the near future, because Newcastle owners could buy the whole Premier League. Every single club in the Premier League, the Newcastle owners could buy. That's how much money they have. And they will still have money left over to buy 100 more clubs. That's how rich they are, which is absolutely staggering to me. And Jurgen Klopp said Newcastle fans will love it, of course, but of course for us it just means there is a new superpower in Newcastle. I can't avoid that. Money cannot buy everything, but over time they have enough money to make a few wrong decisions to then make the right decisions, and then they will be where they want to be in the Champions League and probably winning Premier League titles. And it's absolutely crazy how this was allowed to happen. But you know the real reason? The Premier League don't care about anything else but money and the brand. Nothing else. The Premier League don't care about human rights issues, they don't care about BLM, they don't care about LGBTQ, and don't care about all the other stuff that is, propagated because of the PR, good PR. They don't care about that. All they care about is the money and the business. And Jurgen Klopp also said, I don't want to make it my business because it's not my business. There are no two opinions about the obvious human rights concerns in Saudi Arabia. That's not a question. But how it could then happen that this was nevertheless allowed to happen despite many concerns, I cannot assess, Jurgen Klopp said. That must be for some other people. If we only talk about football, that in the long term, of course, we have to say that Newcastle United are going to be a superpower. This is the third club in world football that I know of that belongs to a country, and that obviously belongs to the wealthiest family on the planet, and that can't be right. The possibilities that open up are of course immense. With the Super League, the whole world was justifiably upset about it. It's basically like the Super League now, but just for one club. The Newcastle are guaranteed to play a dominant role in world football for the next 20 or 30 years. That's guaranteed. You can mess up a lot with money. You can make a lot of bad decisions to eventually arrive at the right decision and still not fail. So you can basically sign, as I said previously in previous videos, 10 players worth 50 million. None of them work out. You still have hundreds of billions of pounds left to spend. So it's absolutely crazy, and it's also on UEFA that they haven't enforced financial fair play more strictly, because this wouldn't be allowed to happen if financial fair play was enforced. And Jurgen Klopp basically said that you can mess up a lot with money, but in the long run there are too many good people running around in football, and Newcastle will find them too. Accordingly, this is how it is now. It wasn't my choice, and we are just living with the facts now. And Jurgen Klopp, fair play to him that he gave his honest opinion about this Newcastle Saudi Arabia takeover, because it's a lot of questions and not many answers from the Premier League, from the people who are in charge. And Jurgen Klopp also said there is no other way to do it, but since no one has said anything, so great, I'm not ready to really give my opinion now whether I think that's good or bad. There are concerns that everybody has, because I'm not alone, and the rest was obviously decided by other people. And it's not just Premier League's fault, because I heard that the United Kingdom's biggest ally in the Middle East is Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia has the biggest and most important relations and trade deals in Europe with the UK. They have like 12 billion pounds worth of trade deals, and also I heard that the United Kingdom sold a lot of weapons to Saudi Arabia so they could wage a war on Yemen. What do you think about that? Sadly, most football fans are pretty apathetic about that. I'm not sure if that's the right word to use here. Let me know if it is, because English is not my first language, so let me know if that's the right word to use here. But really, the United Kingdom is in bed with Saudi Arabia, and I also heard that the Prince of Saudi Arabia, the governor or the president or however they call him there, he actually talked with Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, warning him that if the Premier League doesn't let the Newcastle takeover happen, then the United Kingdom will lose a lot of deals, a lot of trade deals with Saudi Arabia worth billions of pounds. So that was one of the reasons why the Premier League has let this takeover happen. Saudi Arabia already has a lot of commercial deals and trade deals with the United Kingdom. And is that right? I don't think so, because of all the issues that I talked about. But money talks in today's world, in today's capitalist world. It looks like football clubs are not just football clubs anymore. They are businesses, and I don't really like this, where football is going. And yes, probably the Liverpool owners, FSG, don't have a problem with the Premier League becoming richer, more competitive and bigger because of the takeover in Newcastle. But Jurgen Klopp personally, I think he has core values that has many conflicts with this takeover happening. Just like Qatar owning Paris Saint-Germain, just like United Arab Emirates owning Manchester City. Jurgen Klopp pointed out that football is a wonderful sport in that you can still compete with billions of pounds worth of players with the right tactics, with the right attitude, with the right players. Liverpool won the Champions League when already Man City and Paris Saint-Germain competed in that competition. But in a few years' time, there will be Newcastle United, and they could build a super team just like Paris Saint-Germain, just like Manchester City, and even more, because they have virtually unlimited amounts of money. That's how much money they have. They have a $320 billion worth of money. Man City owners have like 26 billion. So just to put that into context, and even Man City owners were richer than anybody else basically in the world of football. And I think Jurgen Klopp did the right thing speaking out about this issue But how many other managers will have the guts to speak out? How many other journalists and how many broadcasters will have the guts to speak out on this issue? Not many, because they all want the money, they all want the big salaries, they all want the contracts, the TV deals, everything. So you won't hear a lot of talk about this on Sky Sports and BT Sport and all the other TV stations that broadcast Premier League. Fair play to the journalists who wrote on this issue, on the human rights issue. And Saudi Arabia is basically a slave state, and they are still allowed to own a Premier League club because they have money. That's it. So the Premier League doesn't have any morals. It's if it wasn't clear for you guys before, now I think it's as clear as day. It is very likely that it will be very tight. You really have to say that. Man City have certainly not got any worse than last year. He's talking about the title race, of course. The kind of football they play is brutal. We are in a good mood. Chelsea have a top team as well and a huge squad. Man United are Man United. They won't stop investing until it works out at some point. The squad they have now together is also strong. So there are 4 title contenders this season, and with Newcastle United investing, there could be 5 title contenders in a few years. Hopefully Liverpool will stay there near the top of the table. But for Arsenal and Tottenham, it just got a lot harder. For Leicester, West Ham, Aston Villa, who are building up their squad to challenge for a top 6, for a European place, it got almost impossible. How can they compete with Newcastle United, who have unlimited amounts of money? It's just so unfair on the smaller clubs as well. I think Liverpool will be alright because I think we are a huge club, and if the people make the right decisions in the key areas, meaning recruitment, then Liverpool can still be in and around the top 4, and that's what we want. We want to have a club in the Champions League so we can spend money on players and challenge for titles and trophies. But if Newcastle will be guaranteed the top 4 place and Chelsea and Man City will be guaranteed the top 4 place, it will be very, very difficult for Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Leicester, Aston Villa, Everton, all these clubs to play Champions League or even European football. It will be very, very difficult. And Jurgen Klopp was also absolutely furious with England and the England under-21s because Curtis Jones was injured during a training, but he still played against Andorra, and he came back injured with a slight injury. And Jurgen Klopp said, when the federations don't start helping us, I mean all of them, the Premier League, the English FA, they have to think about the game again and not only about their own interests. Because why did Curtis Jones play against Andorra? The Andorra and under-21 team. Was it that really necessary? That's what Jurgen Klopp was asking. It was apparently a huge, very important game. So Curtis Jones played even though he was injured, and now he's not available for Watford. So Fabinho, Alisson, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott and Thiago are all unavailable for the Watford game. We basically have 4 fit midfielders, I think. And Naby Keita played like 3 games during the international break, so he must be absolutely knackered. And we have Henderson, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and I think Naby Keita and maybe James Milner. And that's it. That's all the midfield options that Liverpool have for the Watford game. So we are very, very short. Even though we have like 8 or 9 midfielders, we only have 4 of them who are available for Watford. So I don't envy Jurgen Klopp and the decisions that he has to make. Thankfully, Jota and Trent Alexander-Arnold are fit to play against Watford. Jurgen Klopp has confirmed that today in his press conference. So that's brilliant news. And it's so unfair that the Spanish Football Federation has postponed the games of Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. So Atletico Madrid have a free weekend off before they play Liverpool in the Champions League. And Liverpool will have to play Watford. I mean, Alisson and Fabinho didn't even travel back to England. They traveled to Madrid and they will meet the Liverpool squad there. And Noel Whelan, a journalist, has highlighted the unfairness. He said the schedule could have been arranged a little bit better, given Liverpool that bit of time so they can come back to domestic football and also for the players to play for their respective clubs. Because of the game on Sunday for Tottenham, that gives those players a little bit of extra time to recover. But yeah, when you look at Liverpool who are playing Saturday at noon, it was always very unlikely that the players would get risks. The same with other clubs who have South American representatives. it's a little bit unfair and a little bit hard to take. You want your players in form, you want your strongest squad out there to win games. That's what it's all about. And yeah, Liverpool won't have their strongest team against Watford, so it's not fair. But Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool have prepared for this scenario, so let's hope we can still somehow get a win against Watford. But I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp is very upset about this, and it was clear that he was very upset. Let me know what you think about all the things that we talked about in this video, especially how annoyed Jurgen Klopp is at the football authorities. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.